think of a place where there's love overflowing. I wish I was home, I wish I was back there in the things I've been knowing. Wind that makes the tall trees bend into leaning. Suddenly the snowflakes that fall have a meaning. Sweet, the sea makes it all clean. Suddenly my world's gone and changed its face, but I still know where I'm going. I have had my mind spun around in space, and yet I've watched it growing. If you're listening, God, please don't make it hard to know if we should believe the things that we see. Should we run away? Should we try and stay? Or would it be better just to let things be? Let them be. Living here, let's run you home. Might be a fantasy, but it's hardly to love. So it's real, so real to me. And like one that we must look inside our hearts to find. A world full of love, like yours and mine. Like home, there's no place like home.
Welcome. Finally here. My mom is in the room. Where did you leave it? Home. We'd like to share with you different styles of music whose consistent theme is about home, more particularly the home of our heart, the body, and the soul here in Los Angeles. Our tenors and basses will sing for you the song of a man who is restless and must leave his home to experience the start of his journey.
Sicut Cervus is frequently used in religious music, notably Palestrina's four-voice motet, which we will be performing right now. In a theological context, this is interpreted as the human soul's desire for its true home, or heaven, and longing for God, especially during times of exile, suffering, or spiritual dryness. The flowing polyphony paints the imagery of running water and yearning for that home.
Sicut Cervus desiderat fortes
With nearly 14 million residents, life in Los Angeles County can make a person feel pretty small. But nothing makes you feel the sense of belonging like starting a new relationship with a new partner in a tiny new apartment that you can both call home.
You'll never much mine, as long as I'm with you each night.
Yes, we have come from a long way. Friends say wrong way still.
I only know when you hold me, it feels like home.
It feels like home.
It feels like
After you've settled comfortably into a long relationship, you experience a lot of life together. When life hands you challenges or complications, though, the physical walls around you seem less and less important. It is then that you realize that your true home is in the arms of someone you love, someone whose arms feel like home.
From soon after we met and got married 9 months later, you've always truly accepted me for who I am and encouraged me to grow. Ooh, sorry. But it's been in witnessing you navigate the hard parts of our life with such a calm, resourceful, and resilient presence that helps me to feel safe. This is harder than I thought. Helps me to feel safe, loved, and supported, and trust that no matter what, we'll get through it together because you feel like home.
Almost 40 years of friendship. We've spent many a time together. We've spent every day together for years. And then we haven't seen each other for 6 months. But every time we do, with you, it feels like home.
For 53 years, 49 of them married, we've been together through job changes, house moves, raising kids, horses, dogs, cats, chickens, things. And in all of that chaos of life, you've been my home stone. You feel like home.
Not every day is easy. Some days we get frustrated with each other, or someone's hangry. But I want you to know that no matter what kind of a day it was, my favorite part of the day, every day, is when we get to read books and sing songs and kiss each other goodnight. You feel like home.
I hate public speaking so much. I wrote notes and I'm still sweating. Okay, so there's 9 baseball players on a city league in Michigan, plus one daughter there, and the youngest, she's the youngest and the toughest, and they're all friends of mine. This is the Howell family. There are 9 boys, and on the city league, all on the same team, 9 Howell brothers, and they all look alike. I didn't write this in my notes, but they have like calves like tree trunks and the flattest asses you've ever seen. It's a real unfortunate thing for them. Anyway, but one of them was a really, really, really close friend of mine, Dave Howell. And Dave was just a shining beam, and we became roommates. We became very, very good friends. And Dave was one of those guys, when you talk to him about anything, the stupidest thing, he looks at you like you are a tray full of desserts. You feel like the most important person in the world, and everybody felt that way about Dave. And so he saw me through some of the very darkest and most triumphant times of my life when we lived together. And like when I got my first pair of glasses. And so I put them on and I said, "Oh my God, I had no idea you had crow's feet." He was doing this. I was a very average student in high school, and I could not wait for college because that's what I wanted. I wanted music. And so I was trying to go to school and feed myself and do the adulting thing, and it lasted for about a year and a half, and all the wheels fell off the cart, and I couldn't do it. I just dropped out of school. So I went out and kept working, and finally, in that in-between time was when I became Dave's roommate. He gave me so much encouragement, and finally, I had an audition at Wayne State University to go back to school at 26. I left at 19, went back at 26. And I was so worried about how am I going to work and how am I going to study. Dave said, "You know what? You go to school. I'll work for both of us." I'm like, "No, man." He's, "No. Be who you need to be, and I can do this." So it was getting ready for the first day of school, and I got to the foyer of our house, and I just sat down and just started crying. And he said, "What is this? You should be excited. This is your first day of school." I said, "What if all this time, all my life, I thought I was a musician and I thought I was good enough, and I go back to school and I find out I'm not?" And he said, "You never know unless you go." And he put his arm around me with his dirty glasses and his big nose and his torn up bathrobe. You got the picture. And off he sent me with a big hug. So I ended up going there for 4 years on a talent scholarship. Didn't pay anything at all. My mom would want me to tell you that. So I finished that, and I was off to Los Angeles. Again, another full ride. My mother would want me to tell you that Ella Fitzgerald paid for my entire master's degree. So during my first semester there, Dave told me that he had been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. So I called him almost every day to report on school, and sometimes he got really cross and really short with me. I'm like, why are you being such a jerk? And I didn't say it to him. I thought, geez, okay, I won't call. And I told our friend Nancy Loeb from Michigan, she said, Glenn, he hasn't been downstairs in 4 weeks. He can't even get to the bathroom. Didn't know he was sick, but he didn't want me to worry. So my last week of classes, he died. I was in final exams, and I couldn't just leave Los Angeles and just leave my finals and leave all of that. I didn't know what to do, and so I'd have to miss it. I didn't know how I could do that. So I spoke with this very, very wise friend of mine, Joyce, who's 90 now, and she was very wise then, and she's even wiser now. The older I get, the wiser she gets, you know. And the funeral was 4 days before Christmas, and she said, I'm going to go in your stead, and I'm going to write you a letter all about that day. So she got to the sanctuary, I got the letter, and she said it wasn't very bright in the sanctuary. It was 4 days before Christmas, and it was late in the afternoon, so it was kind of dark in the sanctuary. But the children had made beautiful stars out of aluminum foil. And from big strings from the ceiling, all these stars, I mean 100 stars were hanging there, and his casket was right below it. And she said it was like the children put angels in the sky to shine down on Dave. So after that's ridiculous. So after I got her letter, I went down to Santa Monica Beach, and it was cold and it was sunset. And I just thought, this has got to be our memorial service, Dave. And somewhere in the waves, I could hear him saying, it's okay. Funerals aren't for the people that die, they're for the people that are living. We go there to soothe each other and to take care of each other. While we're singing a person home, we're also embracing spiritually, emotionally. That's what this song is about, singing you home and taking care of one another.
Too soon to leave this earth. How could all your work be done? Ash to ash and dust to dust. Seems to me you've just begun. When grief invades my soul, there's comfort in a prayer I find. Roll these candles honor you. They burn for those you left behind. I'll sing for you because I need to. Right now this is all I know. I'll sing so we will not forget you. I will sing you home. I will sing you know that you will live on the lips of those who what it was you had to give, and what it was they learned from you. This is a prayer for you. Maybe someday we will know. If you felt your journey home, or Born unto this earth, generations one by one, ash to ash and dust to dust, there is nothing left undone. I'll sing for you because I do. Right now, this is all I know. I'll sing so you will not forget. I will sing you home. I will sing you home.
Sunday we will bring all of the soldiers home.
Quiet, misty morning, when the moon has gone to bed, when the sparrows stop their singing, and the sky is clear and red, when the summer ceased its gleaming, when the corn is past its prime, when adventure's lost its meaning, I'll be homeward bound in time. Rise me not to the pasture, chain me not to the plow. Set me free to find my calling, and I'll return to you somehow. As my journey nears its end, where the path of weary and I'll return to song.
Let's have a moment. You know how you hear something horrible that's happened to somebody in Japan, and it's not anybody you know, it's on the route, it's on the news, and you go, oh, that's bad. You know? But then if it's somebody that grew up in the town that you grew up in, you didn't know very well, but you sort of pay attention. And then if it was like your classmate's sister, then you're more engaged, and then it's your cousin, and then it's a relative, and it's just somebody closer. And so the closer the relationship is, the more impact it has on you when you hear the story. So fires in Los Angeles, it just is what it is. I don't know why, it just happens, and it happens every year. And so I called a number of people, because I don't know anyone who's actually lost their home to a fire, so I had to call a few people, and finally was put in touch with this woman. And her daughter wrote her Lisa Carragher's adult daughter, Shay, wrote the family story that took place when Shay was on a trip in Australia. And I've excerpted and edited the story down to bite size for today's concert. And the article is called 1 Year Later. As I usually do on long walks, I called my mom. I had no reason in particular to call her, I just wanted to chat. She answered, "Hun, I have to call you back." I responded, "No rush, hope everything's okay, and I'll talk to you later." The presence of a fire wasn't a cause of alarm in my mind. I'd grown up walking into our backyard or the street, or tilting my head upward and seeing the mountains that were about a half a mile away from us, gazing at the bright flames scattered along the top of the fires in Altadena. Fire in the mountains behind our home was normal, so this phone call wasn't concerning. But there was wind, and a lot of it. And it was moving insane speed, and there hadn't been much rain, and the fire was moving faster and faster, and it was moving toward our house. The next 12 hours, which felt like days at that point, were spent lying awake in bed, constantly refreshing the evacuation zone feed, trying desperately to find a map that exactly outlined the movement of the fire, as if fire had an air tag or something. And texting my mom with updates. At 4 a.m. Australia time, so about 10 a.m. in California time the previous day, I crept out of the hostel I was in, and FaceTimed with my parents in the hallway. I knew that my house was gone before I even called them. So when my parents tearfully told me that our house burned down at 3 a.m. that morning, my grief settled into my body, and it was a bit more intensity. I was stunned, despite having the knowledge of this beforehand. The confirmation of it felt so disruptive. I was devastated. The last time I saw my home, December 28, before driving to LAX for this trip, would be the last time I would ever see my home. My parents expressed profuse gratitude for everyone's safety before diving into the list of items we missed and needed. Quickly, we listed the items that we were so glad were gone, like my dad's 2004 Toyota Matrix, my mom hated that car, and the leather couch, which was ugly and so uncomfortable, and my dad's sock drawers full of holes, socks with holes in them. And we joked about the spring cleaning would be super easy this year, and how about Christmas and birthday presents would be easier than ever because we didn't have anything anymore. I visited our house for the first time in February 2025. We dressed in hazmat suits, gloves, goggles, and N95 masks. A combination of ash, unknown toxins, and my low-functioning lungs were not a great collaboration, but I went to see 461 Athens. I needed to see it in order to get it to understand it. But it wasn't just 461 Athens, it was my entire community. We made that drive up Lake Avenue, the same drive every day I made growing up, whether it was heading to school or home from school or to the freeway or to a friend's house. This sunny February, things were normal until suddenly buildings were missing. And in their places were ruins. There were more houses gone than remained. There were barely any people, save for the ones who were doing the similar thing as us, picking through the trash. Precious mementos were lined up on the sidewalks in front of the houses, china sets, teacups, children's pottery, artwork, clumps of jewelry, indiscernible gold, silver, forks, knives, spoons, cracked plates. Digging through the ash, I found the remnants of a Christmas tree that was now essentially just metal rods. I dug around for my books, which feels silly since I know they burned, but I just wanted to know where they were. I tried to discern boundaries of each room, but I could not figure out where one space ended and the other began. Beneath me was my entire life, ashen. Beneath my feet was the loss and pain of those memories that flooded out in and out of my mind. They rushed upon me with such intensity. It was odd. In standing at my home, technically in my home, but it couldn't be. I was standing in ash and wet drywall, but the denial of it seemed to be the thing that was sinking me. There was no laughter, there was also laughter, a silly and helpful byproduct of denial. My dad took goofy pictures of the remains of the shower, and I pretended to cook in our kitchen stove. I didn't cry until later. I sobbed quite violently in the shower. I cried for the fact that it was real. I returned to Altadena one more time over the years, a few more times over the years. It felt important to show people my home, what was left of it, my community, how it strengthened and softened amidst the trauma. In August, I decided to go check in on the home, and most of the plots of land were cleared of debris. I took a long walk through the neighborhood. There was so much milkweed and monarch butterflies flitting around, and there were sunflowers sprouting from an old greenhouse and bougainvillea sprouts between charred trees. There was color. And my family, well, they checked in and supported, they were checked in and supported in unimaginable ways. The ways in which we were surrounded, supported, and lifted were indescribable. I sipped chamomile tea and sat on a towel laid out on the dirt of my former childhood bedroom. I cried softly this time. It was quite beautiful. I touched the earth below me, the foundation that held so much. It was so crazy to me that my house had burned down. Profound sentence, I know. But honestly, y'all, it's insane. In this past year, I have grieved as my family has grieved that there was a life also lived. I will always miss 461 Athens and the walls and the little things that made up the symbols of our family. I had to remind myself that my community, my home, extends far beyond 461 Athens and Altadena and Los Angeles and Southern California.
The Beatles' Blackbird is a powerful song written by Paul McCartney as a message of hope and encouragement for Black women facing discrimination during the American Civil Rights Movement. McCartney used the metaphor of a bird, a British slang term for a girl, with broken wings, learning to fly, to symbolize the struggle for freedom and equality and the desire to feel at home, wanting to offer support to women enduring hardship and waiting for their moment to arise.
Singing in the dead of the night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arise. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take me something eyes and want to see. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly. Into the light of dark night. These broken wings and let your wings and learn to fly, fly, singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. Only waiting for this moment to arise.
Woo! I've not had the experience of doing a lot of work on something and then being so taken for granted that it accidentally gets left out of the program. The song we're about to sing for you is called What Happens When a Woman. It's by Alexandra Olsovsky of the contemporary vocal group Artemisia. According to the most recent census,
There are over 200,000 households in Los Angeles, headed by single mothers with children under 18. Woo! Roughly 736,000 businesses in LA are owned by women. It took the efforts of Susan B. Anthony and the suffragette movement until 1869 to secure the rights for women to vote in one U.S. territory, and another 51 years for that to be nationwide. In 1963, Rosa Parks refused to sit in the back of the bus. She also began to pave the way for women like Karen Bass, the woman who is serving as the 43rd mayor of Los Angeles and the first woman in that role. What happens when a woman won't sit down? We'll wait and see, Madam President.
What happens when a woman takes power? What happens when she won't back down? What happens when a woman takes power? What happens? What happens? What happens when a woman takes power? What happens when she won't back down? What happens when a woman takes power? What happens? What happens? What happens when a woman takes power? What happens when she won't back down? What happens when a woman takes power? What happens when she wears the crown? What happens when she rules her own body? What happens when she sets the beat? What happens when she stands on her own 2 feet? What happens when a woman takes power? What happens when she won't back down? What happens when a woman takes power? What happens? What happens? What happens when a woman takes power? What happens when she won't back down? What happens when a woman takes power? What happens when she wears a crown? Whoa, we rise above. Whoa, we lead with love. Whoa, we have won. We are one. We just begun. Whoa, we rise above. Whoa, we lead with love. We have won. We are one. We just begun. What happens when a woman takes power? What happens when she won't? What happens when she won't? What happens when a woman takes power? What happens? What happens? What happens when a woman takes power? What happens when a woman takes power? What happens when she won't? What happens when a woman takes power? What happens? What happens when a woman takes power? What happens when she won't back down? What happens when a woman takes power? What happens? What happens? What happens? What happens? What happens when she wears the crown?
Perfect. 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 Almost perfect. Hello. Hello.
You're perfect.
Perfect. Perfect turn. What feels like home is deeply unique for each of us. At its heart, home is a reflection of who we are, how we live, the otherwise ordinary moments in life that truly matter. Speaking personally, I grew up in LA as a slight, creative, precocious, probably annoying kid who loved art and music and baking cookies and the colors pink and purple. I couldn't throw a football to save myself. When I was 9, 1 second. When I was 9, my family moved 1,300 miles north to a small town in the rural backwoods, town of 300. Over the next several years, I was reminded daily how different I was. I was routinely bullied at recess and after school. The confusion of not knowing why I deserved it and the self-loathing and guilt that followed shattered my ability to feel safe in my own skin for years. My heart wells up introducing our next piece, Ordinary Boy. It's about a 21-year-old college kid named Matthew Shepard, going to school in a small town in rural Wyoming, up near the Canadian border. Matthew was gentle and thoughtful. He was curious. He loved music and theater and ordinary things. He listened deeply to others. He cared about people who were often left to feel invisible. And like me, Matthew was gay. As many remember, in October 1998, Matthew's name became known around the world when he was severely beaten, tied to a prairie fence post, and left to die. His death shocked the country and sparked a national conversation about hate and dignity. From the larger work, Considering Matthew Shepard, our next piece takes us through Matthew's ordinary life with his ordinary family and their ordinary home. The work invites us not to focus on how Matthew died, but rather who he was and how he lived. What was ordinary for Matthew, or for me, or for you, or what is ordinary for the next generation must stay dignified, respected, and protected. No matter what, each ordinary life carries extraordinary worth.
Let's talk about Matt.
Ordinary boy, ordinary boy, ordinary boy, born in December in Casper, Wyoming. Ordinary boy. To a father Dennis, and a mother Judy. Ordinary boy. Then came a younger brother Logan. His name was Matthew Shepard. And one day his name came to be known around the world. But as his mother said, you knew him as Matthew. To us he was Matt. He went camping, he went fishing, he went hunting for a moose. He read plays and he read stories, and especially Dr. Seuss. He wrote poems and illustrations for the neighbors on the street, and he left them in each mailbox till he learned it was illegal. He made friends and he wore braces, and his brain was rather small. He sang songs his father taught him. He sang songs his father taught him. He was my son, my firstborn and born. He was my friend, my confidant, my constant reminder of how good life could be. And the beautiful about himself in a notebook.
I am funny, sometimes forgetful, and messy, and lazy. I am not a lazy person, though. I am giving and understanding and formal and polite. I am sensitive, I am honest, I am sincere, and I am not a pest.
I am not a pest, I am not a pest, not a pest.
I am my own person, I am warm. I want my life to be happy, and I want to be clearer about things. I want to feel good. I love Wyoming. I love Wyoming very much.
I love Wyoming, I love Wyoming, I love Wyoming so very much.
I love theater, I love good friends, I love succeeding, I love pasta, I love jogging, I love walking and feeling good.
I love Europe and driving and losing and helping and smiling and Charlie and Jeopardy. I love movies and eating and positive people and pasta and driving and walking and jogging and kissing and learning and airports and music and smiling and hugging and being myself. I love theater. I love theater.
And I love to be on stage.
I love the stage, 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 how I love such an ordinary, ordinary days in an ordinary life so worth living. He felt ordinary learning and ordinary fears with an ordinary hope for belonging. He felt ordinary learning and ordinary days with an ordinary hope for belonging. Just an ordinary days with extraordinary kindness, extraordinary laughter, extraordinary shining light, light and joy. Ordinary, 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 ordinary. Ordinary boy, ordinary boy.
We've come to the end of our evening together. We like you. So living in LA, it's like living any place else big. You just see more of it and it's more spread out. Unless it's Manhattan and it's all straight up and down. But there's so much about home. Home is beautiful things, home is horrible things. I mean, where you live, it happens. It's like you go Sunset Boulevard and you go through some of the wealthiest county in the nation and some of the poorest county in the nation, all on one street. And there's so much that we want to support and so much we want to get rid of. Fears and resentments, so much of that. So there was this song called Soon I Will Be Done with the Troubles of the World. It was about, I'm going to meet my Jesus, I'm going to go live with God and all that. And then this composer who reflected on the killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis reset this piece to Soon We Will Be Done with the Troubles of the World. So it's not an angry thing, it's just a hopeful thing. You know, when you come to concerts, it's you know, pretty easy to look at the person that you came to see, unless you don't know any of us, and thank you, please come again. But you know, somebody going like, oh, there's Kevin, I love Kevin, I'll watch Kevin sing all night. You know, and the truth is, this is a group of beautifully spiritual human beings. Their message comes to you from their hearts. They are singing hearts with arms and legs. And I am so privileged to be able to work with them and to bring meaning to these texts. So let's hope and do our part, whatever it takes to try to just bring down the troubles of the world, especially now.
Done with the hatred and done with war. Come lift the lonely, come lift up the poor. Done with the hatred and done with war. Come lift the lonely, come lift up the poor. Done with the hatred and done with war. Come lift the lonely, come lift up the poor. Soon we will be done with the troubles of the world, troubles of the world, troubles of the world. Soon we'll be done with the troubles of the world, whenever it comes to the world. Soon we will be done with the troubles of the world, troubles of the world, troubles of the world. Soon we will be done with the troubles of the world, whenever it comes to the world. No more weeping and wailing, no more weeping and wailing, no more weeping and wailing, whenever it comes to the world. No more weeping and wailing, no more weeping and wailing, no more weeping and wailing, whenever it comes to the world. Soon we will be done with the troubles of the troubles of the world, troubles of the troubles of the troubles of the world. We'll be done with the troubles of the troubles of the world, whenever it comes to the world. Soon we will be done. 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 Soon we will be done.
Done with the racism and sexism and all the isms and prisons that bind us, that blind us from the hurt of another.
I want to be done. Done with addiction, with any affliction that takes a hold and won't let go, that speaks in lies and fiction.
Yeah, I want to be done with the things that divide us. Instead of unite us, the walls we build, the hate and still we fill with judgment.
I want to be done. Done with the violence and the silence when facing injustice. But I wonder if you trust us, if love was our compass.
We'll be done with the troubles of the world, troubles of the world, troubles of the world. Soon we will be done with the troubles of the world, whenever it comes to the world. Soon we will be done with the troubles of the world, troubles of the world, troubles of the world. Soon we will be done with the troubles of the world, whenever it comes to the world. Soon we will be done with the troubles of the world, troubles of the world.